I want to talk with you guys just about life in general, but in particular about karma and why it's important to kind of think about that when you go about life on a day-to-day basis. One of my things that I love and I strive for, and I don't know where I got it from. I don't know if it's my grandmother. I don't know if it's just the way I'm wired, but I believe you get what you put out. It's like working out. If you don't work out, if you don't eat right, you're going to get out of shape. You're going to shorten your life. And eventually, all those things that you did to your body is going to catch up with you. And it's going to be negative. But if you ate well, worked out every day, all the things that you did good to your body is going to show at the end. And you live a long life, long healthy life, long plentiful life. And that's like life, in my opinion. And I see things that go on in my life that reflect that. If I'm treating people like crap, peeing on their head, boo-boo on their head, whatever the term is, that sounds real nasty. But if you're just not a good person, and maybe some people get lucky and are able to treat people bad and good things happen to them, but that's got to be the minority. It's got to be rare, because if you're treating people bad, I think what you put out there is going to come right back to you in some form of way. I'm going to give you an example. I flew out of Chicago a couple of days ago, and I was going to get some coffee. You know, I got to get coffee, y'all, those who know me. I got to get coffee in the morning. And there's a Dunkin' Donuts in the Midway Airport. The line was ridiculous. It really was. And it was just not the line to wait to get to order the coffee. It was the line to receive your coffee. Everybody, I guess, I don't know, ordered it online or already ordered, and they were just, you know, maybe slow to get your coffee out to everybody. And there were people at the kiosk ordering. So I tried to wait in line to order at the kiosk. Then I tried to get my app, and my phone just wouldn't cooperate, and I couldn't get the app to open up. So I said, well, I'll just walk up to the line and order in person. And I did that. Walked up to the counter. Young lady said, I'll be right with you. 30 seconds later, she came to me, and I was polite, because I love treating people well. I love to make people smile if I can. And if it's just treating them with a little bit of respect, I'll take it. And most people will acknowledge and reciprocate that. And they'll treat me with more respect. You know, what's the phrase? You get more honey with bees, or get more bees with honey. I believe that. I live by that. And so I did that, and the young lady said, I have your coffee right out to you. I said, okay, that's a standard response. Have your coffee right out to you. So I went and waited in line, and with the other folks, they were calling our names. You know, Jimmy, your coffee's ready. Billy, your coffee is ready. We was waiting for this car. So I realized I never gave her my name. So the lady started naming numbers as well. I didn't know where the number was on the receipt. So I went on ahead and I walked up to the counter. The young lady that was calling, I said, ma'am, can you point out to me where the number would be? So I'll call your name. I said, well, I didn't give my name. She said, oh, okay. And she turned around and walked back to the back where they were making the coffee. So I didn't, you know, it is what it is. So I just went back in line and tried maybe they'll listen out for my order. And, you know, I ordered a large coffee, midnight brew, with sugar-free French vanilla and Splenda. You know, that's my order. So I never heard that. So about 30 seconds later, here comes a young lady, came up to me and said, sir, your coffee's ready. Here's your coffee. And I walked in front of everybody, all 30 people that were there, and went up there and grabbed my coffee and went about my way. And, you know, people looked at me like, how in the world this guy get his coffee? He just ordered, and we're standing here waiting. And I don't know. I know everybody in that line didn't treat the person at the counter with disrespect. I know that didn't happen. But the little bit of honey that I gave and speaking to the young lady and being polite, I think it warranted and garnered me the opportunity to get my coffee extremely fast. Somehow or another, I got bumped up in front of the line. And I know it's because of the way I treated her. I treated her with respect. I smiled and, I asked her how was her day, those types of things. And, we as humans, we love to be treated with respect. We love to be talking to in a kind manner, even if we are not a kind individual. We love to be able to do those things and treat people. We love to be treated like that. I'll give you another example. My son and I and my wife, we went to see a movie the other day, Jurassic Park. And this movie theater is a beautiful movie theater. Movie theaters now are assigned seating, most of them, not all of them, but the ones that I go to, their seatings are assigned. So you actually order your ticket like you would order going to a concert or booking a flight outside of Southwest. So your seats are assigned. You get there, your seat is available. You can sit with your family. You have your 3 seats that you have reserved. And so we did that. And we had, I remember it was row D, 7, 8, and 9 were the seats. And it was dead center. We had the best seats in the house, in my opinion. Dead center in the theater. But it could be confusing, particularly on the end seats. There are cup holders on both sides, and the number is on the armrest of each seat. So if you're in the middle seat, the armrest will have the cup holders on both armrests, and the number will actually be on the body of the armrest on both sides. So is the seat 7 or are you in seat 8? That's how confusing it can be. It can be. And when we sat down, I said, maybe I should go down on the end and double check and see where 1 is. So that way I can figure out what seat this number is. My son said, no, I already checked it. So I said, okay, all right. Trust my son. Let's do it. And we sat down. About 5 minutes later, young girl, she was a teenager, probably 15, 16 years old, and her mother came. And the young lady, the young teenager, had so much hostility. And her first words to her, you're in our seats. And it was really nasty, very nasty. And my son said, no, we're not. And my son, he went there really quickly. And I tapped him. I said, no, son, I got this. Let me talk to her. And she would continue to be a little nasty. I said, no problem. This is an easy fix. Let's look at the seats and figure out what seat that we're, what the numbers are. I know. This okay. I understand. I'll get up. Let me verify to make sure I don't sit in the other people's seat on the other side. And we got it figured out. And yes, we were 1 seat down. Come to find out, once we sat down, we realized, these seats are better. But that's here or there. We moved over 1 seat over. My wife's seat was reserved right next to them. So I sat down, and it kind of bothered me. I said, in my opinion, I need to enlighten this young lady because she's 16 and she's going to go on through life with that type of attitude and treat people that way. And it may not end well, or she's just going to have a hard time in life. And I got up out my seat and I walked over and I talked to the mother. I said, ma'am, do you mind if I just share a little something with her? And she knew where I was going. She said, by all means, please. And I said, I appreciate you. And I said to the young lady, this is what I just said here a moment ago. I said to her, you get more bees with honey than you do with basically a bad attitude. And the mother looked at me and she said, thank you so much. And I wasn't doing it to embarrass the young lady. And I was really polite to her. And I gave her the thumb. We dapped up, you know what I mean? A mother dapped me up, and just, hey, there are better ways to resolve an issue or a conflict than hostility, because a lot of people won't respond to that very well. And then you're going to create a small problem and escalate into a major problem. And then you get the police involved. And it's just not good. It's not going to be well. And I've always lived that way. I don't like confrontation, but I won't avoid it. But if I can de-escalate it, I will. And that is, if more humans did that, we wouldn't have a lot of the issues that we have in the world, because we can talk and communicate and have a discussion, or just don't agree without having to go from 0 to 100 in a matter of 0.2 seconds. So we watched the movie. My wife sat down. We watched the movie. I enjoyed my popcorn. It was a Jurassic Park. I think Revived. I think the name of the movie. Great movie. Enjoyed it. And we sat down. We didn't get up immediately, because sometimes at the end of the movie there might be a little something at the end. So we sit down and we can't wait for the crowd to clear out. And the young lady got up and she walked by me and she dapped me. She gave me a dap and she said, "Thank you." That right there to me made my day, because I feel now that maybe I had a part in changing her trajectory in life. Maybe she'll take that experience and include it in her day-to-day. Maybe she'll share that with her kids. Maybe she'll share that with her friends. And that little bit can spread. And it made me feel good. Because at the end of the day, it wasn't bad. But it could have been worse. And had I not taken the time to just share, she would have gone on in life thinking that's how she needs to get her point across, and that's how she gets problem solved, and she'll go on living a more difficult life than what she should be. And so I just wanted to share that with you all. I'm not preaching to nobody, but those who receive it, share that, and let's make this world better each and every moment we breathe and live and walk in it. You know what I like to say, keep doing what you're doing so you can see what it does. But look, before I end this video, like and subscribe, comment. I love to see if you all have any experiences in a situation similar to that. And yeah, because we live on this planet together. We walk this earth together, and let's share it and live it and love it together. So yeah, keep doing what you're doing so you can see what it does, and I will see you all on the next video.